For WNCW, I'm Stina Sieg. Well, they say that every dog has its day. It's hard to imagine many breeds getting the kind of fanfare awaiting the Plotthound this Saturday. Plottfest from 9 to 6 at the Maggie Valley Festival grounds will celebrate North Carolina State Dog with many events, including music by Balsam Range and a book signing by historical author Bob Plott. In a recent phone conversation, Plott detailed his family's rich connection to the breed, as well as his high hopes for this brand new event, to be held in conjunction with the Great Smoky Mountain Trout Festival.
My family connection to Plotthounds goes back to actually 1750, the first time in America, but even before that in Germany. I descend from a long line of gamekeepers in Germany who came here in the mid-18th century and brought 5 of their prized hunting dogs with them. So my third great-great-great-great-grandfather, Johannes George Plott, is credited with bringing the first Plotthounds to America in 1750 and or thereabouts. And some of my folks have raised those dogs here in America since that time, and of course I continue to do so today. So that's kind of how my connection began with it. And of course it's something you grow up with and you learn a lot about growing up, and then of course researching and writing the books I've written also further kind of cemented, for lack of a better word, my involvement in it.
And obviously you got into these dogs because of your family connection to it, but now that you are so entrenched in the world of Plotthounds, what do you find that you really enjoy about the breed?
Well, they're really a unique breed from the standpoint of they have Germanic origins, which most purebred dogs don't. They originated in the British Isles for the most part. But more than anything, I think it's such a unique story of Americana. When I talk with people, a lot of times, I've got pictures of dogs dating back to the late 1800s, mid 1800s actually, and those dogs look just like they do today. And I tell folks that when you touch the face of a Plotthound, when you pet a Plotthound, you look into the eyes of a Plotthound, you're literally looking into the face of history. You're touching the face of history. And to me, that's something that's unique, and it's something that's unique not just to my family, but to any sort of dog breed. And so that's that's a big part of what makes it special to me. But also the other families that were involved with the Plott family throughout the Southern Appalachians that had such a great impact on the history. And the history itself, the Plott family members have fought in every war since the Revolution. There's just a real rich history that's tied into Western North Carolina and indeed even the United States that I find really interesting and unique.
In addition to your book about Plotthounds, you've done a lot of books about different variations on the history of Western North Carolina. Part of the reason for you doing this, is it because you're afraid if you don't do it, nobody else will?
Yeah, that's part of it. Part of it is also that it's such a part of our history that remains so unknown. There's so many aspects that go far beyond the dog and far beyond my family that people just don't know about, and they should. My latest book, Colorful Characters of the Great Smoky Mountains, talks a lot about a lot of different things. 2 of those individuals I profile in this book are living people, are still alive, that I find are good friends of mine that are very interesting, colorful guys. But also, the 1761 Grand Expedition and Yanaguska, the great Cherokee chief, and of course my relative Vaughn Plott, who was a well-known hunter and dog breeder back in the early 1900s. So all these things, to me, are stories that are disappearing fast, and if we don't get those stories recorded, they may never get recorded. They may be gone forever, and that's one thing I stress to people when I do programs, that everybody has a story, and it's important that we get those stories recorded before they disappear.
Do you feel like by studying history as much as you have that it really informs how you would live your life on a daily level and how you see the world, today?
Absolutely. Again, going back to the latest book with these 2, a lot of the people I've talked to, and really in all my books, there's obviously a lot of the people that I've profiled and talked about are people that have passed on, but there's a lot of people that I've interviewed that are still alive and give me firsthand accounts of things. And so the thing that I take away from most of my interviews with these folks is how they live their life and their approach to life. There's no boundaries for these people. differently. They look at things like if they can see it, they can do it. If they can believe it, they can do it. If they can envision it or dream it even, they can do it. So yeah, for me, that's given me a lot of inspiration. I mean, I never thought I'd ever write a book. I mean, certainly most people probably wouldn't have believed that when I was in high school and college that I would ever write a book either. So, it's just getting somebody to believe in you and believing in yourself. And certainly that's what these folks did, I mean, and still do. And being around those type of people really inspire me to want to live that sort of life and to do that sort of thing, to hopefully, maybe make the world a little bit better place, but certainly enrich my own life as well, and hopefully the lives of other people.
Going back to the Plottfest, what do you hope that people take away from the festival?
Well, I think it's going to be a great event on a lot of different levels. I mean, I think, you're going to have music, you're going to have arts and crafts, you're going to have vendors, you're going to have the Trout Festival, which is going on that day, so there's going to be a lot of activities for, people that like trout fishing and that type of thing. And I think that then you've got the historical, cultural aspect of, I think all too often mountain people and mountain culture as a whole is stereotyped as, just a bunch of dumb hillbillies and that type of thing. And nothing could be further from the truth. I mean, when you start doing this research and you start seeing these families that survived in some of the toughest terrain in Eastern America and carved a life out for themselves, and their descendants are still there today doing well, I think that's something we can all learn from. So anything that we can do to honor that type of thing, but at the same time, I realize that you got to keep it interesting. So anything you can do to honor that type of thing and yet bring families out together to have some fun, I see as a great thing.
Well, Bob Plott, I really appreciate you talking to me. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure, Stina.
And you can learn more about author Bob Plott on his website, bobplott.com, or you can meet him in person this Saturday beginning at 3 p.m. at Plottfest at the Maggie Valley Festival Grounds, a celebration of North Carolina State Dog held in conjunction with the Great Smoky Mountain Trout Festival, runs from 9 to 6. For WNCW, I'm Stina Sieg.